Hey everybody, it's Commander Claude. Welcome back to another patch notes review for Smite. Here we got 9.9 houses at war. We got a new skin theme with these houses down here. We got House Phoenix Amaterasu, House Unicorn Chang'e, House Dragon Yuhuang, and House Jackal Anubis. And then we get a new avatar skin, the Momo Ratatosker. Been a while since we've seen one of those. I don't know if this was supposed to come out sooner, so they're just doing it now. And then Catless Atlas has got a yarn ball. Look out. Twilight Sky Jingwei, Lucid Nightmare, some Wukong bonus skins for the bonus balance. Necropheme's Agni, Bioslicer Tsukuyomi, Takasura, Bakasura, and King of Hearts Zeus. Update schedule September 20th. Bonuses October 4th. Smite Night, don't care. Terrible. And the battle pass for the houses at war. There's all the stuff. Quality of life. Let's talk about this. Smite Roadmap. As we finalize plans and resources for year 10, we've had to shift some of our roadmap for the end of the year. Specifically, this means that the god originally planned for the end of the year will be not launching as originally scheduled. This god will be shifted further into the future, potentially pivoted to be an entirely different god. It will be one of the first gods of the next year. And the first thing for this update, though, that's a big one, is 9.9 Volcanic Conquest update. So we're going to have a new Conquest map theme. October 9.1, there's a new god. 9.10, I mean. Even though that's not how this works, but this is how it's going to work. You want to say 9.1, but it's 9.10. That sounds gross. Anyway, I had the requested character from an underpopulated pantheon will be arriving as Smite's newest guardian. People are expecting it to be a Polynesian god because of the Volcanic Conquest update. November is 9.11 RuneScape. December 9.12, we got a new PvP adventure mode. And then January, usual 10.1, Smite's 10th year celebration gameplay update. Even though the game technically came out in 2012, and not 2013, but 2013 was when the open beta started, so whatever. We got SWC. There'll be a keynote with all the new stuff. February will be the new god for the next year. They will be more spaced out. Blah, blah, blah. A bunch of extra stuff with Smite's tenure. New things. Whatever. Skip all that. I mean, this stuff is not really meaning anything. This just is basically the schedule of what's expected to happen with Smite. So we don't know anything really yet. Bunch of bugs. Not going to read those. Balance update. This is what we want. Here's the fun stuff. Players and Masters and Grandmasters will reset to Diamond 1, 2750. Yeah, that's normal. This will apply to everything. No changes at lower ranks. Conquest. As Season 9 rolls on, we have another new iteration of the Conquest map. The Volcanic Conquest update will bring new Polynesian environment art to the map, as well as some balance and gameplay mechanics. Interceptor returns to this map as a reward to a new contestable camp in the duo lane, located directly behind the Gold Fury. This means that players can now earn the benefits of the Scepter as well as the Trebuchets, as the Obelisk gameplay flow is unchanged. In addition to this new objective, we are also changing the Gold Fury's reward. This specific type of Fury will now continue to spawn throughout the entire match and will have a unique reward. Uranus Vengeance. I was afraid to say that because I don't know how to really pronounce that. Which will give players an additional defensive buff to the towers they defend. Finally, we've adjusted a variety of jungle camp stats to make them more difficult to kill. The only exception being the red buff, whose special berserk ability will be nerfed. Okay, a bunch of stuff. So we have Trebuchets and Scepter because it's on a new thing. And then the new Gold Fury Award, defensive tower buff, Boro. Why are they continue? You know, they put Interceptor in this. I mean, you can use that to heal tower, then defensive buff to tower. Why are we making games so slow, guys, when they're already, like, okay, at top in SPL, they're not that much longer, but in most ranked games, they're noticeably longer than they were prior to 9.5. Why are we doing more things that slow down the game? Anyway, the Fire Giants area has been reworked to be a volcano thing. Players in Duel will notice a new tropical beachy scene on the outside of the map. Wow. Obelisk have been rethemed. Gold Fury. Added Gold Fury into the pool of Furies that can spawn past 20 minutes. Awards the thing when slain. Previously Draugur's Boon. Oh, this is the one in the one that's in the Fury camp on the other side of Duo, where that's the only camp there. Okay. They didn't make that clear. Duo camps have been merged into one contestable Naga camp. The Naga now drops Interceptor for the team that scores the last hit. Naga is much stronger. Increased base health from 500 to 850. Increased base physical power from 20 to 34. Increased base goal reward from 24 to 33. And XP reward from 40 to 60. Interceptor lifetime reduced to 3 minutes. Maximum targets reduced from 5 to 3. Damage dealt to gods now deals 2% of current health instead of maximum health. That's probably a good thing, I suppose. Damage dealt to minions reduced from 100 to 20 to 40 to 60. Scales every 3 minutes. Reduce HP 5 or from 25 to 10. Okay, so they've nerfed all of those things on it. They did not change the tower healing, though, on that, which I guess is fine. I would have just taken that off, honestly. Just making the game artificially longer. Solo XP camps. Nagas in each camp have been replaced with lesser scorpions. So those guys are back again. Base gold 24 to 30. XP at 40 to 45. Damage camp. Damage buff holder. Increase power. Increase power scaling. Decrease mana core berserk scaling from 75 to 55. Reduce berserk activation threshold from 45 to 30% of max health. Reduce berserk duration from 10 to 5 seconds. Okay, that's nice. So they made it stronger, but the berserk is shorter, so that's probably a pretty good change. That's going to reduce the poke you take a lot from the camp if you're soloing it as a mid. And damage buff minis, they're slightly stronger too. Dude, I'm not going to look at every stat here for this. This is so much nonsense. Like block of text. You go, speed camp is stronger. Everything's stronger, basically, is the important part to point out. So this stuff doesn't really... This stuff matters up here because there were some XP and gold reward changes, but then this is just whatever. Everything's stronger, has more health. Let's just move on. Let's see, items. Divine Ruin increased pin from 12 to 15. Spear of the Magus 12 to 15. Spear of Desolation 12 to 15. Everyone got a pin roundup because 12 is weird and 15 is a better number, I guess. That's probably why they did it. Although, what did they say behind that? Mages have been behind the curve lately in the early game. We knew 5 would bring some big shifts, and we wanted to make sure players fully explored the depth of those changes before making too many adjustments that could lead to more early game burst damage. After a few months, we can see that flat magic pen is still underperforming. I still think they're just rounding the number up because 12 is weird, but I'd like to think it's a dumb reason like that. Well, I mean, it's not a dumb reason. They've done that with item stats before. Hopefully people will actually build these items, because Divine Ruin most of the time is getting built. These are not getting built as often. I don't know why Spear of the Magus isn't getting built as much. This item is completely stacked. I think Bob will decrease protection debuff from 15 to 10%. I don't know. And people just not buying this thing, I guess. They're not buying it on supports, I don't think. It's the main thing. Magi Shelter, increase the range this item's passive can buff an ally from 25 to 40. Increase duration of the ally buff effect from 5 to 8 seconds. Yeah, no one's really using this, so that's fine. Heavy Executioner, increase the attack speed cap from 1.75 to 1.9 while using this item. Cool. These are just make people build item. Sav is getting nerfed because this is like a core item for a lot of gods at this point. It's like everyone, supports are building this all the time. Solo laners are building it all the time. That's a little goofy. I'm fine with that. But do you get HP 5 from the item plus the aura, or is it just the aura? I don't actually remember the stat. Sentinels gift increase healing purses from 12 to 15. Benevolence increase HP 5 from 7 to 10. War Flag, the support update. Increased health and mana restored per pass trigger from 15 to 18. Big number. I mean, War Flag doesn't get built in Conquest, like, at all, so, I mean, I guess go for it there. Is this going to make it really strong in Joust? Yeah, probably. You're probably going to want to build it, like, all the time now. Soul Eater, we are looking to create more shifts in the soul lane. The Soul Eater is being nerfed along with Sovereignty. Both of these items bring high health sustain, which can be dangerous in large amounts. We also want to introduce some new options. So Blackthorn Hammer, Warrior's X, and Breastplate of Vigilance are being buffed. Increase stacks to evolve from 75 to 100. Decrease passive ability lifesteal from 25 to 20. This is also going to nerf some junglers a little bit. Some, not all of them, because most of them aren't building Soul Eater. So there it is. But this is going to nerf like Robin and Milan and like Bastet. Although Bastet solo is not being played much. Assassin solos don't enjoy this nerf. Not that many of them are necessarily viable right now. But Robin's god that a lot of people are banning, so, and he builds this item. So that's fair. Blackthorn increased physical power from 25 to 30. Warrior's X increased passive god damage and self-heal from 20 to 30. Very nice. Breastplate of Vigilance increased basic attack damage reduction or range from 40 to 60. I mean, okay. I mean, I don't know why this is getting buffed. I don't just think this diversifies builds because you're getting this late usually, and like I don't think a glyph change really is a big deal here. I might have buffed like Witchblade or something instead. If I was going to do that, just give me something that's a little more flexible and interesting to build than this. First up this month, it's the Warriors. Milan has fallen behind in recent months, but we want to be careful in bringing her lane pressure, as her early game damage can still be quite potent. Instead, she will be getting some later game buffs to her mobility. She will also be getting an increase in the third strike of her ultimate, which players often consider canceling out of entirely. We want to incentivize people to use the ability. Now, remember we mentioned Milan and building Soul Eater. I mean, I think this god's probably stronger than people are understanding right now. I mean, this is relevant to her getting buffed, but I don't like this really. Decrease cooldown on grapple, that's whatever. Increase base damage on arrow shot from 150 to 350 to 175 to 375. 15 more damage. Is that going to make people use it? No, probably not. Forget what I said. These buffs kind of suck because they don't do anything. This one does something. I mean, that's beneficial early game. This doesn't matter. Wait. 15, 25. What? These get 25 more damage. Wait, did I read this wrong? No, it's 25 damage. I'm just dumb. Yeah, I still don't think that's a big deal. I mean, maybe it is if you hit the whole ultimate. Nike's getting a buff because no one plays her except me, I guess. Decreased cooldown from 15 to 15 to 13 on barrier formation. Late game, yeah. Okay. That's fine, I guess. I mean, I am 5-0 on this unranked this season, so you know, maybe I should play some more Nike, dude. Get a border with this god. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just run her down for 5 games in a row. Maybe I'll record all of them. That would be interesting. But I would hope people wouldn't get bored seeing Nike a bunch of games in a row. Alquang, we have a few jungler buffs up next. The Dragon King has slumbered for long enough. We are bringing back Alquang in a big way with some heavy changes to his basic attack chain. He will now do noticeably more damage with those attacks without sacrificing any animation time. We are also increasing the power scaling on Wild Storm to improve his ability to damage along with his basic attack damage. General increased magical power scaling on the second and third hits of the hit chain from 50 to 70%. Okay, written as 1.7.7 1x damage and 1.5.51 times swing time. Okay. There you go. Increased magical power scaling from 40 to 50 on Wild Storm. That's fairly benign. Although making his autos better is good for his early game because his autos are pretty bad early. Next up is a Wheelix. Her passive provides some interesting gameplay constraints and a powerful effect, but the current duration is quite strict. We are increasing that duration to ensure she gets to use the effect. Her signature ability is her ultimate, which hard counters leap abilities. We are decreasing the cooldown of this ability at all ranks to make her an even stronger counter pick in the right comp. Initiative, increase the duration of physical power buff from 2.5 seconds to 4 seconds. Gravity Surge, decrease cooldown from 90 to 70 to 80 to 60. Max rank, wait, if you get cooldown on her, she's going to have it up like every 45 seconds, bro. That's goofy. That's kind of a game changer in a comp where you can pull somebody. Damn. Naja tends to be an all-or-nothing jungler. From this update, we want to give him more opportunities to follow up his strong engaged potential. We are decreasing the cooldown of our Artillery Sash, which is his primary lockdown and mobility, but that's not all. We are also making a significant adjustment to how his ultimate works to make sure that Naja receives the protections buff from this ability while traveling and still gets it even if he misses his target. Our Artillery Sash increase base damage from 70 to 270 to 90 to 290. Decrease the cooldown from 14 to 12 seconds. Wind Fire Wheels increase the protections after landing from 20 to 40 to 30 to 50. This ability now provides 30 to 50 protections for 4 seconds on fire, even if it's missed or cleansed. Updated tooltips include that the target and enemies in the landing zone are knocked up upon landing. Big buzz for the man. I mean, he's been kind of weak right now, but there's a lot of people trying to shoehorn him into the meta. And I guess maybe they have now because he's getting buffed. How nice. I mean, this god legitimately is terrible from behind, so that's probably fair. That also makes him better as a tanky jungler because he gets more prots, which means you can build less tank items and still be tanky, kind of. I don't know. I mean, Captain Twig's going to love that because he doesn't play Naja full damage, so. Watch out, F remains. Your boy Susano is getting some changes. We are using the new non-conquest tech to shift Susano. He generally seems to be behind the curve in Conquest, and we are giving him some damage scaling as well as increased potency of his ultimate to help him in this mode. However, Susano often performs much better in non-conquest modes and has become a frustration risk, so he will be getting nerfs in those modes across his damage and cooldown. He will be getting a nerfs, guys. The typos, they never get old. Wind Siphon, increased physical power scaling from 60 to 75. Typhoon, increased initial base damage when refiring Typhoon immediately from 175 to 375 to 195 to 395. Increased base damage fully charged from 215 to 475 to 235 to 495. Decreased cooldown from 100 to 90 seconds. Susano mains look out. Non-conquest balance. -5 damage, and +5 on ultimate cooldown. Okay. Yeah, it's +5 on cooldowns, -5% on god damage there. Kukulkan, Zephyr, more base damage, okay. I have nothing to say. Raw Searing Pain, increased magical power scaling from 100 to 115. We're just like buffing mages that don't get picked. Vulcan, no longer counts as backfire, no longer counts as a move in a building, can't be crippled. I hate this. Infernal Cannon, decreased cooldown from 15 to 13. I hate this. Decreased mana cost from 65 to 85 to 50 to 70. I hate it. Hate all of it. This god is annoying and frustrating. Why are we buffing him? No one wants this. Nobody wanted this. This is just annoying. Scylla, Crush, the slow that applies for 1 second after a hit will now also apply the max rank debuff of 15% magical protection reduced. Okay, whatever. That's just a consistency change. Honestly, I don't know how this like makes her more likely to be picked, but okay. I mean, a proc reduction is nice to have. Let's be honest, but if you do the typical thing, which is root somebody and then hit it, you're not benefiting as much from that. But we'll see. Apwash getting buffed. We love to see it. Fleeting Breath increased damage per tick from 30 to 50 to 30 to 70. So they've made it the same early game, but late game it gets a lot stronger. Empty the Crypt's Revert, increased duration from 5 to 6 seconds. Non-Conquest, increased ultimate cooldown penalty from 10 to 15%. Okay. I mean, we'd like Apwash buffs always. Who's better for him than him for this new tech? What? It's not new tech. I don't know. This buff is fine, I guess. I mean, he's not gonna be a mid, dude. No one... He's got no mobility. And it's not like Anubis where he can just, you know, wrap you and fry you with his ultimate and build a ton of lifesteal. It's not the same thing, man. I don't know if this really is going to help him. Kuzenbo, we love this too. Last update we focused a lot on changes towards supports and guardians, but we do have one fella who missed the boat. Kuzenbo swam his way into this update and is getting some buffs to reward the effort. For this pass on him, we are focusing on the ultimate, giving him some mitigation to ensure he doesn't put his life at too much risk, and also increasing the damage. Water Bowl, updated description to specify how he interacts with the new true hard CC category to include the cooldown on losing stacks. Watery Grave, increased damage from the first spin from 50 to 60%. And decrease on the next 3, I guess, from 50 to 40% on the damage. Kuzenbo now gains 10% damage mitigation while this ability is channeled. Ram buffs. I don't know that this god was underperforming or anything, but I mean, Ram falls behind against certain gods, I think, but I think overall he's probably in a pretty good spot, so I don't know that we need these changes. Increased damage done to targets beyond the first from 75 to 80%. Decreased mana cost from 20% to 15%. Astral Barrage Revert, increased base damage from 180 to 540 to 190 to 550. Okay, that's not really much of a buff, so whatever. And at the bottom, Mr. Kernanos. This god has been right on the edge of viability for a while, but hasn't found the opening to make his charge. He has a unique passive that we want to bring more attention to so that it is seeing a noticeable buff. His poke and lane clear can be a little clunky as he has hit some very specific angles. We are increasing the damage on Bramble Blast to help that ability feel more effective in lane. Heavy Glaive, increased damage from 25 to 35% of his base attack damage. Bramble Blast, increased initial damage from 60 to 200 to 70 to 210. And increased area damage from 6 to 22 to 8 to 24 per tick. There we go. Hopefully he'll come back in the meta because Kurnos I do like quite a bit. In fact, there was a point where he was my most mechanically consistent hunter, and I miss those days. Although that was back when I was playing duel, so that might have changed. Anyway, voice actors, thanks guys. Yeah, with that, back to the top, we are done. Like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed that. Leave a comment down below, and as always, check the helpful links down in the description, and I'll see you guys next time for some more Smite. Have a good one.